Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Gentlemanly Podcast with me, Troy Francis, dating coach, content creator, and helper of thousands of men all over the planet, from Moscow to Kyiv to Bogota to London to Paris and back again, in the noble art of dating and social skills and matters of the heart in general. So today I want to talk a little bit about mental health and why mental health is very important. And I guess this really is just a little bit of a reminder for all of us, because you've got to be somewhat resilient, particularly if you get into the practice of actively trying to take control of your dating life, actively trying to take a hold and to get the outcomes that you want to get. That you're going to suffer some slings and arrows across the way, and that's going to be the case for anybody, right? Whether you are the chaddest of chads, as they say, or whether you've got more work to do in different areas, you are going to find that you're going to suffer rejection, you're going to suffer setbacks. There's going to be things that happen that disappoint you. You're going to fall in love, you're going to maybe get your heart broken, you're going to get into situations and then the situation abruptly ends, people are going to ghost you. There's just all kinds of things that will happen, and that's unavoidable. Okay, that's going to be the case for anybody, whether they study this stuff as a discipline or whether they come into it naturally, or whether they take a 12-week course and they do a boot camp. I mean, regardless, because the battlefield of love is festooned with landmines, unfortunately, and that's just the way it is. And you can't avoid it, but also there's a lot of beauty there as well, okay? There's a lot of beauty, there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of wonder. This is the stuff of life that we're talking about here, right? Our relationships with other human beings are the most important thing that we have, okay? And on your deathbed, you're not going to be thinking about spreadsheets, you're not going to be thinking about data points, you're going to be thinking about the people with whom you spend your life, the people with whom you wished you'd had more contact, the people with whom you had those wonderful times, the people with whom you had those bad, traumatic times, but you came through it, okay? That's what you're going to be thinking about. That's the important thing. So this is not an area to be avoided, but at the same time, if you're going to dive in, you need to have a degree of mental stability, okay? Because people that really take this stuff to, they make a lifestyle out of dating skills, out of learning dating skills, out of traveling, maybe. I mean, my friend, my business partner, James, travels 99% of the time around the world. And he does this stuff and he teaches this stuff and he has a business around it and so on. That is and that's a very extreme example, but that's an incredibly unusual position for anybody to be in, because not only you're not alienated, but you are distanced from your loved ones, from your familiarity, from people that you know, and you're suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune as far as the dating stuff is concerned. Obviously, you've got to have some way of dealing with that mentally, okay? And this is why mental health is really, really important. And this is one of the reasons. I mean, there are so many different directions we could take this in. Obviously, I am bound to say that if you are suffering from some kind of actual mental ailment, maybe you're suffering from some sort of low-lying depression or advanced depression or anxiety or some other issue of that kind that you feel is diagnosable, then you should go and see a professional. You should go and see a doctor about that, and you should listen to what they say, okay? And you should take it on board. Get a second opinion if you want, but this is serious stuff. You can't mess around with this stuff, okay? And no amount of dating or anything like that is going to solve that problem for you, because it's bigger than that, right? And in the end, we can't rely on other people. As much as we need other people, we can't rely on other people to make us happy, okay? Not our parents, not our partner, not our family, not our friends, nobody else. We have to, as cliched as it sounds, we have to find that happiness, or at least contentment, or at least satiation from within, okay? But sometimes we need some assistance in doing that, and sometimes things can actually go wrong, can actually go medically wrong, and we need some help with that. Okay, so I'm not saying pop a bunch of pills, any of that stuff. Obviously, your own discretion, go to see the doctor, take their advice, but do it because you do need to be mentally strong. However, there are certain things that you can do naturally which are going to help. And some of them are, well, most of them are things we recommend anyway, which are basically exercise, getting up at a reasonable hour, having reasonably regulated habits. People talk about the importance of sunshine, maybe getting up in the morning and going for a walk, getting some of that early morning sunshine, okay? Getting a good night's sleep, being hydrated, drinking plenty of water. I come back to exercise again because it's so important. I mean, one of the big reasons for exercise is, forget getting ripped. That's one thing, great. But it's actually the mental health benefits of exercise that are so powerful, okay? Meditation as well. When I do meditation regularly, I feel so much better than when I don't, okay? And you can go from joining classes, you can do transcendental meditation, all the way down to just sitting there, putting your iPhone on for 5 minutes, and just sitting there in silence and just feeling yourself breathing in and out and trying to clear your mind, okay? You can start wherever you want to start, and you can do it however you want to do it, right? I don't particularly adhere to any one specific way of doing meditation, but it is a valuable thing to do, okay? All of these things, and then spending time in nature, I think I mentioned that one, but, it helps. All of these things, okay, they are going to improve your mental health, and you do need to look after your mental health if you're getting into this stuff, because it can be a brutal market out there. It really can. And we don't want to make it any more difficult for ourselves than it needs to be. So just a little bit of a call to arms there for mental health. And if you are suffering or if you're feeling bad, you can always reach out to me. I'm not a trained therapist or anything, but I will, happy to have a chat with you. So you can email me, troy@realtroyfrancis.com, or you can message me via DM on one of my socials, on X or on Instagram at Real Troy Francis. Leave your WhatsApp details. But in the end, if you're feeling bad, if you're feeling the blues, reach out to a professional, because it really helps. And for me, therapy actually really, really helped. Even though I was getting quite good results as far as the dating stuff was concerned, therapy really, really helped because it took a weight off of me, which meant that there was a lightness that started to come through to my interactions, which was missing before. And I think that was really valuable. Anyway, hope this one helps. Bit of a quick one today, but important nonetheless. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.